right. Welcome, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. And first, on behalf of everybody in Ward 21B who has worked on putting this together, I want to welcome you.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon.
I seem to be following everywhere you go. I saw the mayor at Gresham Park a couple of weeks ago and invited him to our forum, and he was very gracious and said he could work us in.
Patty, as our moderator for this, will go ahead and check the chat and call on you to ask your questions.
All right.
All right, so there we go.
I don't see any in the chat, so I'll ask the first question.
Sure.
So, Mayor, as you know, I worked there a long time. So I just want to say, we hear about the crime, we hear about excessive force, we hear about a lot of things. But the issue that stands out to me the most is the morale for the officers. Like they're saying, the morale is the reason officers are lose. And I think that's an important issue. What are we doing about communication and the officers and the morale? Because I think that has a huge impact on the output and on their overall opinion or attitude when they go to work. So I want to know, what are we doing to help the morale of the officers taking those calls day after day, call after call?
Yeah, that is a great question. And it's one of the reasons why I love these forums, because unless somebody asks a good specific question like that, I'm not able to cover things like that. And the morale, we're doing some things, but I also want to acknowledge a little bit, look, it's been really hard to be a police officer. It's just with everything that's happened nationally, things got a little convoluted, and then you mix in, the divisiveness, even from coming from the Trump campaign, but it just like everyone, it wasn't, it's not a profession that anyone wants to stay in anymore. But so that is a national context that's important. But here in Albuquerque, we have a situation where, we did do some things. And of course, Patty will appreciate this with, we did work with them on things like they wanted take-home cars. And we said, great, because that also will bring more safety and more cars on the road. They wanted a short sleeve policy so they could have tattoos. I mean, believe it or not, so we tried to pay attention to like the human side of being an officer. And those were good examples, I think, where we've really done some good work there. And they want reinforcements. They need help. They're overworked. So these new batches coming in the academy are really important. And that is something that if we had not gotten those 400 officers in, I mean, our department would literally be falling apart. But I do want to mention the DOJ, because that also is very demotivating for folks. And as you know, I'm a supporter of reform, and we got to do it for the right reasons, because we have had use of force issues, but also because the judge is in charge and you can't just pull out of a consent decree. But what we're now working on is, and you'll hear about this, like we've said it before, but it hasn't hit like a lot of the mainstream news. The monitor has gotten overly prescriptive with our staffing, and that is driving everyone crazy. So it comes in two flavors. One is they're forcing 37 officers to do internal affairs rotations. But we don't have enough officers for that. So it's like, you can't just pick numbers that make us unable to respond to priority 6 911 calls. And then on the other side too, the focus of our reform efforts are really about building trust in the community with use of force. And that's why you see these little examples, whether it's like officers not having their seatbelt on, they're really getting nickel and dimed on these discipline areas that are not use of force related. And we're going to be formally asking for changes on that. But we've already said, if you want to be successful with reform, let's focus on why reform is here. And let's focus a little bit less on you forgot to buckle your seatbelt, for 5 minutes or whatever. But believe it or not, that is hugely demotivating for officers when they're getting dinged for these like tiny little things on top of everything else. So I know that was a little in the weeds, but I know that Patty's very familiar with these issues, and I think that at least gave a real honest answer.